The world was once locked in ice. Millions of years after the dinosaurs vanished, new giants rose to rule the Earth. Welcome to the Ice Age. Meet the undisputed king, the woolly mammoth. See this thick coat? It is living armor against temperatures plunging to -50 degrees. They didn't walk alone. They were the masters of this endless frozen frontier. But the ice plains weren't the only domain. Deep in the ancient forests lurked a slow-moving titan, the Megatherium, the giant ground sloth. Don't let the speed fool you. These claws could shred solid wood like paper. To early humans, this was a terrifying 20-foot-tall god. Out on the open steppes, we find the prehistoric living tank, the Glyptodon. This cousin of the armadillo carried a fortress on its back, a solid bone shell inches thick. Even the Smilodon, the Saber-Tooth, knew that piercing this defense was a suicide mission. But their greatest enemy wasn't a predator, it was time. The world began to warm, and their frozen kingdom simply melted away. Today, they remain only as silent giants of bone behind museum glass. But are they truly gone? Hidden within this genetic code, their modern cousins hold the blueprints of the past. Their eyes once gazed upon the same world as our ancestors. They were the giants of the Ice Age. But in the shadows of the ice, death was watching. The Smilodon, armed with 7-inch serrated daggers. They weren't runners, they were wrestlers, built for the ambush. Yet, behind the fangs, evidence suggests they were social creatures, caring for their wounded and young. Out in the blizzard, visibility is zero, but something massive is moving. Meet the woolly rhinoceros, a 2-ton brute of the frozen north. That horn isn't bone, it's matted keratin, flattened and worn from years of use. It was nature's snow shovel, used to sweep aside deep drifts to find the grass beneath. Think of them as the oversized furry cousins of the modern Sumatran rhino. When the sun went down, the real nightmares came out to play. Direwolves, heavier, stronger, and meaner than any wolf alive today. They didn't rely on stealth, they relied on numbers and endurance. Their jaws were hydraulic crushers, evolved to crack open bone to get to the marrow. But even the pack knew when to back down. Enter the Archdodus, the giant short-faced bear, the largest carnivorous land mammal of the Ice Age. Standing 12 feet tall on its hind legs, it could look a T-Rex in the eye. And unlike modern bears, this titan had long legs built for speed. It could run down a horse. For thousands of years, this war for survival raged on, until the skies changed. We were there too, watching, surviving, and remembering. A world of monsters that vanished into the mist.
But not every giant was built for war. Some were built for show. Behold the Megaloceros, also known as the Irish elk. These antlers spanned 12 feet across. That's wider than a basketball hoop is high. Next to a modern deer, it looks like a creature from fantasy. But beauty came at a cost. Navigating a dense forest with this headgear was a nightmare. Down in the murky wetlands, things got even stranger. Is that a bear? No, it's Castoroides, the giant beaver, a rodent the size of a black bear with 6-inch incisors. Unlike modern beavers, they didn't build dams. They were simply massive, swimming lawnmowers. It makes the beavers we know today look like toys.
But further south, the strangeness turned deadly. If you thought the dinosaurs were gone, think again. Meet Titanis, the terror bird. It couldn't fly. It didn't need to. This beak was a heavy biological axe. Capable of sprinting at 40 miles per hour, there was no outrunning this avian nightmare. It struck vertically, a guillotine with feathers. a living reminder that the reign of the dinosaurs never truly ended. From camels with trunks to sloths that lived in the sea, the Ice Age was an experiment in evolution. Nature was trying everything, pushing boundaries, creating the bizarre. But evolution takes millions of years. Extinction can happen in a heartbeat. The end didn't come with a bang, but with a melt, the Great Thaw. As the planet warmed, the open tundras vanished, replaced by dense, impassable forests. In places like Brea, nature set a cruel trap. Liquid asphalt, sticky enough to trap a giant. One wrong step meant a slow, exhausting death. And for the scavengers drawn to the distress calls, it became a mass grave. But a new apex predator had also arrived on the scene. Us. Armed not with claws, but with stone, fire, and coordination. We were small, but we were dangerous. The combination of climate change and human pressure was a storm they couldn't weather. Yet we didn't just hunt them, we lived beside them. We painted their stories on cave walls, immortalizing them in ochre and charcoal. And then, silence fell over the north. The giants faded into myth. Until now. Buried in the permafrost, the ice kept their secrets. We pieced together their lives bone by bone, marveling at what we lost. But science is opening a new door, De-Extinction. Geneticists are stitching the past back together, a resurrection written in DNA. Imagine a world where the woolly mammoth walks the tundra once again. They ruled the ice, they shaped our history, and perhaps their story isn't over yet. Beyond dinosaurs, the giants of the Ice Age.